Well, election night coverage begins now. It's a special edition of Straight Talk. I'm Bunker Bob Steinhagen, and this is the Bunker Bob Show. Well, and a good Tuesday evening to you. It is election night. The polls have closed, and we are now waiting on the results to come in. We have the early voting numbers that have come in now, but that really is not the big picture of what's happened in Rockwall County. And today or tonight, we're going to wait for the polls to come in together, and then tomorrow morning early, I will be doing a special summary of all of the races. So for those who don't like long programs, and I know that that's a majority of people, even though I do these long programs every day or every time I do one, it'll be a nice change from the norm. So tomorrow morning, about 4:30 is when I'll probably go live. I'm just going to tell you right now that if the results are not in before 9:15, I'm going to just close the show with that, because I'm a morning person, and the results won't change at all whether or not I give them to you tonight. But I am going to be focusing, and I am going to be paying attention to what's happening here in Rockwall County, and I'm going to be looking to make sure that we're staying on top of all the races. So let me go ahead and give you okay, we've got 29% of the races in now. So we have early voting numbers, and we have the give me 1 second. I'm going to minimize a couple of windows, and then I'm going to change to a mirror display so that you can see what I'm looking at. And this begins the focus. And understand, I'm going to be focusing specifically on the races that matter, the races that are contested. I am going to highlight President and U.S. Senate only because I'm just focusing on how Rockwall County votes. Because again, I've been focusing on whether or not our county is conservative or not, and this obviously is an indicator of that, and exactly how far left this county is going. I will tell you, there's a lot more Democrats in this county than there was just a couple of years ago. We've got a lot of people moving in from California, Pennsylvania, all over the left coast, and so it's having certainly an impact on Texas. The question is, how big of an impact is it going to have on Rockwall County? So let's start by looking at the races that are in. Let's see. We've got right now the ballots cast that are counted so far are about 8,000, and as far as president goes, 94% is going to Donald Trump. U.S. Senator John Cornyn wins by a large margin, and then we look at the new judicial race, the county court at law, number 2, and it obviously is something that none of us are going to be surprised about, but it does look as though there's going to be a runoff in this race. It'd be very hard for Stephanie Woodward to take this tonight with going up against 5 different candidates. But John Browning certainly has the edge just a little bit over Tiffany Miller. So that's a race that I'm going to be watching pretty closely tonight. The other one is, of course, Dennis Bailey and Jenny Barker. Dennis is ahead. He's pulled ahead actually by let's see. He's pulled back quite a bit ahead since early voting, and the early voting numbers I'm just taking a look at were. let's see. Let's see how that has changed. I'll have to. Oh, it's $7.99 to $6.35 was the early voting, and $7.99 to $6.35. So yeah, not a lot has come in. Okay, now we're looking at 40% of the precincts responding. This is going to be an uphill battle for Jenny to win, to beat the incumbent Dennis Bailey. Dan Otto is winning easily on this one. And then on the propositions, I'd be surprised on the propositions for the Republicans if anything got less than 95%. And yeah, you got Proposition 9 that is actually less than 95. Oh, and you got Proposition 10. Proposition 10 was Texas should limit our state legislature's terms to 12 years. I'm surprised that anyone said no to that, but there's enough, I guess, let's see, 683 people who said that they like career politicians. And then Proposition 9, bail in Texas should be based only on a person's danger to society and risk of flight, not that person's ability to pay. 95% on that one. So that's where we are on the Republican side. And when again, the reason for the difference in the percentage is because when you look at county commissioner, county constable, those two races, those are by district, and so you're looking at 40% of the district has already come in on both the commissioner race and county constable race, which is why those numbers are a little bit bigger. So let me see if I can increase the size of this a little bit, make it a little easier for you to see. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Okay, so I want to also take a look at the Democrats, and let's see who they're going for. It looks like Joseph Biden and Bernie Sanders are close together in this race, and Buttigieg, of course, that's a lot of early votes. I will tell you that there was some discussion. I was at the county headquarters meeting with the Trump campaign on Saturday morning, and there was some discussion about the high voter turnout among Democrats, which is a surprise. But then as we were talking about it, those with the Trump campaign were basically saying, well, there's a lot of top of the ballot issues going on, and people are watching that, and so that's why the Democrats are more, I guess, engaged than is typically that we see here in Texas. For U.S. Senator, it looks like Mary Hager is going to be the front runner. I think that she is the veteran, and if somebody has an understanding on that, I think that she's the one who's the former, I'm not sure if it's Army veteran, but that's certainly appealing to a lot of Texas voters, those veterans who have served our country honorably, be they Republican or Democrat, are worthy of our appreciation and praise. So regardless, it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on. Service to our country is something that we all honor, especially Republicans. I think we do that best. County commissioner. So regardless of how the county commissioner's race comes out, there will be a Democrat who will be trying to best the Republican, and this is where I say it's kind of a why bother. That is unless obviously the Republicans don't show up, but there will be someone running against county commissioner, whoever gets in that, and obviously justice of the peace. So it looks like Otto will face Tim Wells. Also, I think that there is I don't have it up here, but there is a Democrat running for justice of the peace on the Democrat side against Mark Russo, the Republican who's unopposed in the Republican primary. And it's my understanding that the Democrat is an individual who actually has a law degree. So I guess that's where they're going to try and hit Russo, who has no law degree. And so I guess that will be an interesting race. The Dems propositions, if you're a Republican, you probably don't pay attention to some of these propositions that they've got. The right to health care, that's Proposition 1. Proposition 2 is right to a 21st century public education. I guess, and for Democrats, that means just throw more money at the problem. So more money will give us better education. And as government has gotten more involved in our public education system, how have the results gone? It's an exact inverted line. It is going down as we pump more money in, and as government gets more and more involved. Teachers don't teach anymore, unfortunately, because they're forced to abide by all this nonsense that Democrats insist upon. So Prop 3 for the Democrats is the right to clean air, safe water, and a responsible climate policy. So in other words, it's just more wacko liberal politics, in my opinion. So that's what Proposition 3 is. Proposition 4 for the Democrats is the right to economic security. I got to read this one. Should everyone in Texas have the right to economic security where all workers have earned paid family and sick leave training to prepare for future economies and a living wage that respects their hard work? Okay, if anyone understands what the heck they're talking about, send me a message, because this is just liberal gobbledygook, as we often hear from that side of the aisle. Proposition 5. This one is about the right to dignity and respect. This is what I love: right to dignity and respect. That's only if you agree with them. If you don't agree with them, they have no respect for you, and you have no right to dignity. But that's the way they like to put that. So the right to dignity and respect should everyone in Texas have the right to a life of dignity and respect. Actually, I thought that said have a right to life. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. A Democrat Party is actually considering valuing innocent human life? No, I almost misread that. But actually, it's dignity and respect, free from discrimination and harassment, yada, yada, yada. All right. All right. Proposition 6, right to be free from violence. Proposition 7, let's see what that one's about. Right to housing. Should everyone in Texas have the right to affordable and accessible housing and modern utilities, electricity, water, gas, and high-speed internet, free from any form of discrimination? That's number 7. Prop 8 for the Democrats. This is the right to vote. Should every Gosh, I can't. This is the first time I'm reading these things. Should every eligible Texan have the right to